Hello and welcome to today's video. Namaste. We're going to do some yoga burpees today. So starting stretching up, rolling down through your spine down into a forward fold, hands flat to the floor. Then walking forward into a plank. Once you're in your plank, lowering your belly down to the ground, elbow squeezing into your ribs. Then breathing in, straighten up through your arms into upward dog. Push back onto all fours, up into downward dog, and walk your hands back to your feet. Your forward fold. We're going to repeat this a few times. So you're stretching up, coming down into a forward fold, hands coming forward to plank, bending your elbows down, belly on the floor, breathing in, arms straight into up dog, and then back to all fours, up to downward dog, hold it for a beat, and walking your hands back to your feet into your forward fold. Take a stretch, take a moment, and we're going to bring it back again. So down into your forward fold, forward into plank, lower belly down, arms straight into up dog, hips up, into downward dog, walking your hands towards your feet, into your fold, breathing in and rolling up. We're coming into our final yoga burpee now, so forward into your fold, and hands walk into plank, lower belly down, arms straight into up dog, hips up and downward dog, and then one last time walking those hands towards your feet into a nice fold. We're going to breathe in and stretch up now. Have a little back bend, push your arms and hands back, and coming back into a forward fold. Grab hold of your elbows and let your head and arms just dangle. This is called ragdoll pose. Release your hands down to the floor. Try and give your fingers a little push down. Squeezing your chest to your legs and then pulling it away. You're trying to create a flat back and a rounded back. We're going to walk our hands forward now into a downward dog. So kink your feet out nice and wide. Chest heavy to the floor. Hips lift into the ceiling. Hold here, feeling the benefit of the stretch. And if you want to, start a little sway. So bending one knee and then the other. Dropping your hip down and stretching down the side. Give your heels some extra little pulses down towards the floor. Really sink your chest heavy. Stepping your feet a little bit closer together, lower your belly down to the floor. Straighten your arms into upward dog. Really pull your shoulders down, your head up. And then pushing your bum back to your heels into a wide child's pose. Rest your chest down, your arms forwards. Slowly come up to standing. Oh shit. I kind of said we were done, but I tricked you. We're going to come from a forward fold, forward into plank. Lower your belly down. Breathe in, straighten up through your arms into upward dog. Come up onto all fours and push it back into child's pose. Now that was your last one. We're going to hold here for a beat. Just let your chest sink down heavy to the floor and breathe. Breathe up to all fours. And when you're ready, breathing out into downward dog, hips high, chest heavy and low. We're going to breathe in and stretch up with one leg, bringing it as high as you can to the ceiling and as straight as you can. Trying to keep your chest and your hips square to the floor. And then bringing your knee into your chest, squeezing it in. Breathing in, stretching your leg up. Breathing out, squeezing your knee into your chest. Breathing in and up, out, squeeze it in. Breathe in, really stretching that leg. Breathe out, squeezing it in. Breathe in and up, out and down. Okay, now we're going to sit the knee between the hands. Stretch your other leg back behind you and sitting down into your hips. Keep your hands down to the ground. Try and grow nice and tall through your spine. I'm just going to sit here for a moment. I'm bringing it back into a child's pose, so bum to your heels. Breathing in and coming up onto all fours. Breathing out into downward dog. We're going to bring it up to the other side. So breathing in, straightening that leg up, high and straight. Breathing out, squeezing it into the chest. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and in. Breathe in and up. Breathe out, squeeze it in. Breathe in and up. Breathe out, squeezing it in. Breathe in and up. out, squeezing it in, and then dropping your knee forward between your hands, sitting your bum on your heel, straightening your other leg back. Use your hands to sit yourself up nice and tall. Hold it here for a moment, and then sit your bum back to both heels into a child's pose. Breathing in, coming up to sitting on your heels. Both feet together, toes pointing backwards. You're going to bring your hands behind you and have a little rock on your ankles. So really try and keep some weight in your hands. Just some little rocks with your knees. Maybe just sitting on your heels will be enough. And next we're going to tuck our toes under. So try and make sure every toe is tucked under and touching the mat. Bring your hands back again and just doing some little gentle rocks on your knees. Now coming back and untucking your toes, sitting back to your heels. You're going to place the hands to the floor behind you with your fingers pointing towards your toes. Hands nice and wide. And we're going to push up through your hands to lift your hips. Now this is easier the wider your feet are, but try and keep your feet in line with your knees. So wide knees, wide ankles. You're really going to squeeze your bum, push up through your hips. Try and draw your head and shoulders back. And then if you can, if there's room to, sit your bum down between your heels or as low to the floor as you can. If it's uncomfortable, you can shove a cushion under there just to try and get some purchase. And you can stay down on your hands, you can lower to your elbows, or if you feel like you can lower down with your shoulders laying down on the floor. It's a really nice quad stretch. Make sure you come out of this slowly and carefully, pushing up through your hands, your elbows, and up onto your knees. Sitting with legs outstretched now, just give them a little paddle to begin with. Then we're going to bend the knees, bringing the feet flat to the floor, bring the hands as far down the legs as you can, and then straighten the leg. You're going to bend the knees again, bringing the feet to the floor, but this time a little bit further away from the bum. Bring your hands down to the floor again and straighten the leg. We're trying to walk our hands down the legs as far as we can. So every time we straighten, we're getting a little bit further down. So bend and repeat a few times, and then hold down into your forward fold. If you want to grab a hold of your toes, pull through your arms and pull your face towards your toes. That's a really lovely back stretch. Coming now to sitting with feet together, knees nice and wide. Grab hold of your ankles or your toes, wherever you can. Pull through your arms, shoulders down, and have a little rock, dropping one knee to the floor and then the other. And give your knees a little flutter, pushing them down to the floor and up, down and up. Give your chest a little lean forwards just to intensify the stretch through the hips. And flutter away. Bringing your arms out either side of you, we're going to swish one arm across the legs and out to the side, and then bring it to the other side. So placing one hand down, bringing the other overhead, and reaching. We're swishing forwards and we're reaching. Swish and reach. You're trying to bring your arm as low to the floor as you can. So you can see here, my hand's getting further away from my body every time I go, and my elbow's getting close to the floor. On your final one, we're going to hold it just for a moment longer, and then to the other side, really leaning over, stretching with the top arm, trying to stay heavy through the knees to the floor, and swishing forward, bringing your chest as low to the floor as you can. Coming up to sitting, hold your right foot in your right hand, bring your left hand onto your left foot to hold for stability. You're trying to push your knee back to the wall behind you, so really pushing some pressure down on your foot. You're trying to bring your foot flat to the front and push that knee back whilst you're sitting up nice and tall. Just any lift that you can get with that foot is good. And then moving your grip on your foot, you're now trying to bring the arch of your foot into your chest. You're trying to hug that leg like a little baby. So holding it with both hands if you need to, just giving it a little squeeze in. Swapping it over to the other side now. So holding your left foot with your left hand and pushing that knee back to the wall behind you, foot coming forwards and sitting up nice and tall. You're really trying to put some pressure back through that knee. And then switching your grip and bringing your foot in towards your chest. Hug it in like a baby, both hands. Both feet together now. Lean forward and give your knees a little flap, your shoulders a roll. Take a moment. Keeping the soles of your feet together, we're going to come down onto your elbows. Pushing through your elbows and your feet, we're going to squeeze the bum and lift the hips up to the ceiling. You're going to come as high as you can, keeping those knees nice and wide. Keep your shoulders down, your neck nice and long, and really push down through your full forearms and keep those knees nice and wide. We're going to do a few of these, so keep pushing. Really use your glutes to support you. We're going to mix it up a little bit this time, so we're going to come up and then you're going to push your bum towards your heels and then pull it away and bring it back down. So you're going to push up and then push your bum towards your feet, come back and down. Good. Give your feet a little kick. We're just going to take a quick breath here. We're coming down onto your back, feet still together. And then we're going to push up through the feet, hips coming up again, but this time we're squeezing the knees towards each other. So still squeezing that bum to lift the hips up nice and high, and then keeping the edges of your feet down to the floor and flat to each other, squeezing your knees in towards each other. This is great for your bum and your thighs, so if you like this, do as many as you can. This is my last one though, so I'm going to finish with a little squeeze in of the knees to the chest. Giving the knees a squeeze, and then the legs are straightened with the toes having a point and a flex. I'm going to release my left leg down to the floor, keeping my right leg nice and straight, holding behind my knee, leg really straight, flexing and pointing through the toes, and working that leg in towards the chest. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot to the floor. Bring your right ankle onto your left knee and then squeeze that left knee down to the right. Open your arms out, rest your head and shoulders down, and really put some pressure through both knees, bringing them down towards the floor. Breathing in and bringing the legs up. Pin the ankle on the knee, both feet flexed. Bring your hands around your left thigh and squeeze it into the chest. If you want to take it a little bit further, straighten up your left leg. Trying to bring those legs in as tightly as you can, keeping your head and shoulders down. Relax your right leg down to the floor and straighten your left leg up to start over on the other side. Again, working your hands down your leg, squeezing it into your chest, keeping it straight and keeping your foot flexed. Bring the right foot to the floor, left ankle onto the right knee, and squeezing both knees down to the left, keeping your head and shoulders down and relaxed and your arms nice and wide. Really encourage both knees heavy to the floor and relax. Breathing in and bringing the knees back up and grabbing the right thigh this time. Both feet nice and flexed, squeezing it in nice and tight. If you want to, again, straightening up through your right leg. Do try and keep your shoulders down to the floor and concentrate on flexing those feet. Releasing both feet down to the mat now. Feet about as wide as your mat and rocking your knees from side to side. Keep your head and shoulders down to the floor and squeeze those knees down either side. Rolling over onto your belly. Bring your elbows down under your shoulders and your wrists in line with your elbows. Feet slightly wider than hip width and tuck your toes under nice and tight. We're going to bend and straighten through the knees. So bend, tap to tap the floor and straighten. Really squeeze back through your heels as much as you can and use your forearms to push back into your toes. Keep your shoulders down and head pulling up. Untucking the toes, we're going to bend the knee to a 90-degree angle, flatten the foot to the ceiling and push the foot up in little pulses. Again, maintain your posture and squeeze that knee as high as you can. We're going to swap it over to the other side. Foot flat to the ceiling and lifting that knee up off the floor. Last couple, releasing the legs down, bringing the feet together and squeezing them down to the mat. So soles of your feet flat in towards each other. If you want to take it further, you can come up onto your hands. Just make sure your hips are still down to the ground, shoulders down, neck nice and long. Hold here and breathe. Release down slowly, coming back onto your chest, the legs straight behind you. Elbows again under your shoulders, the wrists in line with your elbows. Shove your bum up to the ceiling and drop your chest down to the mat. Chest really heavy. And relax here. The narrower your hands are in this pose, the more strain you'll feel across your shoulders, so find the right placement for you. If it's uncomfortable for you to hover and you're not touching the floor, you can shimmy your hands forward until your chest reaches the ground, as long as this isn't just lay down on your belly. Breathe in and carefully come up. Coming now into a wide child's pose, knees as wide as you can, chest and arms relaxed down. Namaste.